these cast as well, so that is very nice. In the upper left corner of a map that I already forgot the name of because I've never seen this map, we do have LexMillea, the yellow Protoss. He is fighting for possibly the final time. This is match point for the ThEraXis. It is now 1-2 in a best-of-5 series favoring the Terran player right now. We will see if LexMillea can come back or if he will fall apart. He has never played on this map. I have never seen this map, but apparently nobody has. This is, I mean, you have your main, go down into the natural, and then you have a nice wall off, so that'd be nice for like a Forge Fast Expanded against Zerg or something. Or, well, any kind of wall off is just nice there. It's cozy. Do have a very awkwardly placed third base on either side. I don't know if I enjoyed this map at all. I would not like this to be in the ladder, let's just say that. Maybe because I'm not used to it, though. It is pretty small, it seems, though, especially for a 4-player map. I don't know. We will see how Terran decides to open this game. Protoss has basically done the same opening except for the Protoss Oracle, which he did do with the double gas. We will see if he tries something kind of cheesy to pull back in here, or if he decides to just play a straight-up macro game. He did win the first game through that great macro that he had and the great engagements. Terran is getting that early gas at the end, though, so we will definitely see Reaper play, but he does not know where his Protoss opponent spawns. Hopefully we'll be scouting here soon, excuse me. Gas going down for Protoss, though. He will not use the double gas this time by the looks of it. Maybe putting it down once he gets enough minerals. He thought about it. He was thinking, and then he canceled it right there. That was that split second where he decided his build right there. He decided go for the double gas or don't, and he decided not to. But that is enough of that amazing mind games right there. He played mind games against himself. That's how hard those mind games were right there. Does start the Cybercore right away, though. We will just see a 1 gateway expand, I assume, but that's a lot of space to cover. But there's not a lot of dead air space for Medevats to come in. So, I mean, not the worst place to defend against drops, but definitely needs to get some buildings over here later. And that will be the luckiest Reaper alive. It will see the Protoss base in the first base that it scouts. That's just some good old luck right there. And this probe will actually also be sent directly to the Terran's base, so everybody knows everything here shortly. There goes the Cybercore. We will hopefully see a Stalker very soon, because this Reaper is on the way. It is not scouted at all, though. There goes the Stalker, but it will not be done in time. Not being chrono boosted just yet. And actually, the chrono boost was just used on the probes, and there's no more energy. The Reaper, no! Take the Reaper in here, duh! There is not a Stalker here. You're attacking a pylon. That is not how you use a Reaper. And now he's actually pulling back the weakened probe, which is good. I'm not sure why he's not hunting down the weakened probe. That Reaper could have gotten a lot of kills, at least 2 or 3, but that is not the case. Now the Stalker is out. He will get 2 kills, and he will no. He does not make it out. But that's okay. He did get 2 kills, he did get that scouting information, and Terran still with that same opening. He does also have his command center behind this, he will float it over here shortly, maybe make a few SCVs here first, up to him. He does have that factory on the way, though. We will see if he goes into the mech play again or into the bio play. The mech play definitely helping him out in these last few games. The bio play was very nice, but not up to the Protoss level of just the amazing storms and engagements we saw in Game 1. Definitely check that out if you are watching this on YouTube later on. But other than that, the Protoss is taking his expansion. The Robo is on the way. We will hopefully not see a massive Immortals again unless he scouts Mech again, but I don't think that's going to be the case. We do have Widow Mines, we do have 4 Marines. He will throw down that Starport, and that means that we will see Widow Mine drops again, I assume, possibly with a handful of Marines in there as well, which is always annoying to deal with as the Protoss player. This probe, this is the hero probe, but guess what? Every hero must die eventually, and there it goes. So that is the end of that. No proxies going on, no lucky scouting. I'm not sure why these Stalkers are moving across the map. He did just see the Marine count. I mean, 4 Marines can't really deal with these Stalkers, but he knows he's taking in expansion. He knows that more Marines have to be being produced, and there's also a Widow Mine that could be used here, especially if it was put on the high ground and he made the Stalkers go over there. He herded them over there. He just picked off one Marine. Tries to pick off the SCV. No, he will not. That bunker will finish, and now all the Marines are protected except for one little guy out there. Another SCV does get picked off, though, so everything is pretty much the same. Both players losing 2 workers, I believe. Actually, no, I thought he killed 2 there. Apparently not. And he did kill 3 probes because of the hero one over here, and the Reaper getting 2. Double cannons going down, 1 in each mineral line, just in case of any form of drop play, which is actually very good. Those cannons, while they cannot kill a whole bunch of units, can give that free detection for those Widow Mines. That is not how you want to engage this. He does poke it down a little bit since the Stalkers can regenerate that shield pretty quickly, but when SCVs just come over here to repair, and the Widow Mine is actually moved. That could be very sneaky if Protoss does not realize that. This SCV coming over here trying to get a free scout actually will, unless this is force fielded, but that's not going to happen. SCV just moves on in here, sees the Robo Bay timing. You know, this is not what's supposed to happen. SCV, you're supposed to be mining. He does also scout the forge. He scouts the cannons. That was the MVP of this game right there, just because he just got so much information. I mean, he is in high contention for that top spot in this match. Armory is on the way though, and he's throwing down yet another factory. Could go for those Hellbat drops yet again, or some form of mech play. That is pretty much what has been the only thing that's been working for him besides holding off attacks all in. He has held off all ins. He has played mech to its fullest extent, and playing bio did not go so well for him, so he's going to stick to his strengths, and that is going to work out very well for him. I'm surprised to not see this making anything, though. That is a bit of an issue. There it goes. 2 Hellbats have started. This is actually supply block, though. We'll want to fix that soon. Does throw down a couple of supply depots and a 3rd command center. The +1 for Protoss finishing up, though. Pretty good timing on that. Excuse me. We do have the extended thermal lances on the way, as well as a Colossus. So this will actually be his 2nd Robo finishing up, which will be very nice for that double Colossi production, or even Immortals, because once he scouts a lot of mech yet again, then he will know that he won't want to go mass Colossi. He does only see Hellbats and Marines, though, so he thinks he's doing everything right. He does start the armor upgrade, which I prefer to get first, just because that makes you tanky and never die. And that's what your zealots say. That's their new motto, not their life for ire. No, they're not going to die, so it doesn't matter about their life. They're just going to live forever with that +1 armor, especially against unupgraded Marines. We do have +1 Terran vehicle weapons on the way, though, and +1 Hellbats do just a little bit of damage, I heard. Just a tad bit. Just a smidge. Here comes this drop. How will he do this? It's just going to chill out here for a minute. There's so much dead space here in terms of no vision for the Protoss. And the drop does go off, and he does get a few probes. The probes all bunch up right there. Oh, that was bad for our Protoss player. And he's going to keep killing more and more. There's another medevac in the natural, but that does get cleared up before it drops anything. This is still alive, though. He killed a lot. I think he killed about 10 probes with that. He did lose 2 medevats and 4 Hellbats, now 5 Hellbats. I don't know what he was doing, just being rallied to the wrong spot. And actually, these ones were almost rallied over there as well. That was not going to work out very well. These Marines, since there's no bio play going on, he is just going to have them scout for 3rd base timings, which is always a nice thing to do. But that did a lot of damage to our Protoss opponent, not responding to that as effectively as he could. And then all the probes, that was just a bad luck kind of thing. They all moved in over here, and since the cannon was over here, they all bunched around the side and got taken out by one fiery blast of death. Do have that +1 finishing up here soon, though, and the +1 for Terran finishing up as well. He will be ahead, or Protoss will be ahead in an armor upgrade, which is always nice. But when Hellbats do 30 damage to his Zealots and his probes, one armor upgrade does not do a lot. Why is this lifting? Oh, jeez. So a small mistake was made there by our Terran player. I believe he meant to lift off this one, and that's not how you do that. You don't lift up your natural. So a small mistake there, but we did see a few other mistakes earlier in the other matches, so everybody's okay. Nobody's perfect. Protoss will be supply blocked. He is also getting +1 shields because he does not have a Twilight Council, so he will not be getting any +2 upgrades. Just start a couple of pylons, though, in the natural. Actually, a very odd pylon setup here, making sure no units can get back here to defend against any Hellbat drops, but 2 cannons should be enough, I believe, so he will be perfectly okay. Third base for Terran, though, is fully operational, though. There are a handful of mules here and some workers getting both gases. Terran is ahead by about 30 supply, and that is because he is ahead by 17 workers and the army supply. Or rather, that was about 20, my bad. I can't do math, apparently, or I just wasn't paying attention. But that is basically just workers. The army supply was even, and it is now favoring Protoss after another Warpin, or no, actually a Colossus finishing up. That is a very high Colossus count, and he still has 2 more in the field. That might be a small overproduction, but if Terran doesn't see this, oh, he will be in a very, very bad spot. And actually, this army is going to move out. He will actually start taking down these rots. Why are there even rots here? That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, I guess you have to walk around another 10 steps? I don't know. But now everything is scanned, and that is when you kind of just... I don't know what you do at that point, just because you are so entirely frustrated. He does make a nice amount of hallucinated Colossi. They will last long enough for this engagement. There's not a lot of anti-air here, though, and that will be a bit of an issue for our Protoss player. And the real Colossi are not attacking. That is not how you use hallucinations. Yes, the hallucinations are usually put at the front to tank damage, but the real ones need to be attacking. Why is he just moving in here? That is a terrible way to deal with this. He does clean up a lot of Hellbats, though, but the Stalkers are clearing out SCVs instead of Colossi. The fake Colossus being taken out, though, and there's still one more in the field. The real one's now taking damage, though, yet again. One has already fallen. There goes a second one. And he's running into siege tanks with this. He has cleaned up most of the most of the Vikings, though. The Stalkers are taking a lot of fire, though. Here comes a few random Marines. They all die very quickly, but these siege tanks still getting shots off. There's only one Stalker here left to defend against any anti-air. Stalker has died, and now the last Colossus is all that's left. He does have to run home, its tail between its legs. These Stalkers need to get over there to protect it, but no, it dies to more siege tank and Viking fire. There is now no AoE left on the field for a Protoss player. He made so many Colossi there and lost every single one. That is not a very efficient way to use your army. If we look at the units, the resources lost, he has lost only slightly more because he did kill quite a few Hellbats there and quite a few siege chains, but not enough. And these Stalkers will die a very, very painful death. Actually, I mean, I don't know. They do have Colossi here. Now the Stalker's taking some of that area effect damage. The new tank is over here. It will try to deal with these. Wow, they take a lot of damage. I forgot that they only have 150 shield. I thought they had more shield. I don't even know my unit stats, and I play Protoss all the time. That's a bit awkward. But I don't like Robo. I hate Robo with a passion. I like going Council, even though it's not as effective most of the time. Depends on the game, of course, but Council just speaks to me, okay? Robo is like, do this because everybody else is doing it, and like it. And Protoss is just one of those races, one of those playstyles in any game, really, that you can't really branch too far out of the meta, I'm thinking, just because the meta is very strong. I mean, why would you not go Colossi? And that's the argument that was always used by my Zerg friends that would beat me, and I'd get mad because I'd have a very late Robo, or I'd only have one, and I should have 3 at some point in some of the games I'd play back in Wins Liberty. You know, stuff like that. But I'm just more of a Council player. I'm more of a Templar kind of guy. You know, you got 2 different guys in the world. You got the Robo guys, and you got the Templar guys. Trust me, those are the only 2 types in the world. And if there's a Robo guy, you definitely want to stay away from him. Other than that, though, we do have Double Command Center on the way. We do have the 2-3 upgrades on the way for our Terran player. We do not have any upgrades on the way for Protoss. He does not have a Twilight Council at all. Still just mass-producing Colossus when he has seen so many siege chains. Why not just make Immortals? I do not know why. He also does not have an Observer with this army. That's going to be a bit awkward. There's a very high Viking count, a total of 8, but 2 of them are very low. Could be focused down by those Stalkers pretty easily. The third base for Protoss is done, though. It is pretty well saturated. We'll get those gases up here soon. He is still down in terms of workers, though, by a total of 9. He is also down in army supply, but that is slowly closing. Do have Immortals in production now as well, but the Ghosts are coming out at the same time Immortals are, and EMP will take away the entirety of the Immortal shield and will render them a lot less useful. And we'll probably see a second Forge from Protoss here soon, or at least I would assume we would, but that is not the case just yet. And I don't know why he hasn't moved out with the Mothership Core at any time either, just because the recall is so very good. We do have a drop coming in from the top. This could do a lot of damage to anywhere it is really set. I mean, there's cannons in the main. There's one cannon in the main, but there's not a lot of probes there. This base is fully saturated, and then some. Oh, this is going to do a lot of damage. Those Hellbats will two-shot probes. There they go. This worker loss count is going to grow exponentially, and now these units have been brought back home. Did take a few shots from these mass amounts of siege chains. Definitely wants to just mass produce immortals in return. He has killed 29 probes now. That drop did definitely more damage. More damage than what he would have liked. And there is a second Hellbat drop on the way. He's actually moving this medevac the same way that one is coming. That is a bit awkward. He is going to try to boost over here, and he's going to die to cannons. That medevac is actually going to make it. And those probes are all very low. They all have 3 health. Those should all die very quickly. He does try to engage over here, but the Stalkers are not hitting the Vikings. The Vikings deal so much damage to those Colossi, as well as the Siege Chains doing extra damage to armored units. They do 65 damage. That is also because he has 3-2 upgrades compared to 1-1-1. Not a good place to be as Protoss. Apparently the second medevac was cleaned up or brought back. I do not know. It looks like it was brought back. These Hellbats, these are not the hero Hellbats that cleared out the main. I don't know where that one went. Okay, he has an observer over here. He is just making a lot of immortals now because he knows Colossi are not the way to go. But Ghost EMP will be very, very, very effective. Why are the Hellbats so fast? God, those Stalkers having a tough time actually catching up to them, and they still didn't even kill them. That is a bit awkward. Terran does have 2 extra bases on Protoss right now. He is at 5. Well, the 5th one finishing up here momentarily. He is ahead by about 70 supply, and Blink has started. Why would you do Blink? I know that charge lots don't fare too well against Hellbats, but there's not enough Hellbats to not make charge lots, if that makes any sense. If people understand what I'm saying. Protoss does try to move in here. Since the Terran army did move out, he did have the observer there to see this, and now the Terran army is kind of on the back foot, but he is so far ahead in army supply that it might not matter. These Colossi are running away from the Vikings. The giant Viking ball, though, 9 on the field right now, can basically, I think, 1 or 2 volleys, I think, would kill these Colossi. There goes the Siege Chain fire, though, and the Siege Chains are good against every unit in this army. All of Colossi are taken out. The Stalkers do have to fall back, and they do have a couple of Immortals with them, but that is not going to be enough. If Terran pushes out anytime soon, he can really just steamroll the Protoss' army. And Protoss is trying to stay active because he does have Blink now. He does need to be mobile around the map to keep the Terran off of him. But that doesn't look like it's going to be too very effective here in just a moment. I would have definitely liked to have seen Charge instead with a mass of charge lots. Would have done a lot better here. And Blink is done. Why are you down here? No! Your main base is very quickly. Your natural 2 Immortals get picked off right there. These Stalkers, I don't even know what they're doing. He blinks part over at a time. What are you doing, Protoss? I don't know, but that is not his best moment. This 3rd base is gone very quickly. He's trying to move into the 3rd base of Terran. He does kill quite a few SCVs, but it's not going to be enough. Protoss is down by about 100 supply, trying to get the Dark Shrine out. The Templar Archives was just taken out. More Immortals are on the way, but 2 Immortals, while they are amazing against Siege Chains, cannot take out that many Siege Chains and Hellbats. No matter how many he had right now, it's just not going to be enough. It's 4 Stalkers being warped in as well. But it's just not going to be enough to defend against this. This army is so massive, has 3-2 upgrades, getting that +3 armor, finishing right now. Yes, he might kill a few taints with this Immortal, actually only getting 1 before it fell. Now the natural goes down, and Protoss thinks he has some kind of base race scenario, but there's a base here, there's a base here, there's a base here, and then there's all of this that he has to kill before Terran kills this. And Protoss is trying so desperately hard to set up another base, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So many Siege Chains over here will greatly reduce the Stalker count, actually blinking to the high ground with the help of that Observer, but these other Stalkers are not being microed. This is not going to be very good for our Protoss player at all. Even if he kills all this, he just has so much infrastructure to kill that it doesn't matter. The SCVs are actually doing damage to these Stalkers as well, and they will get picked off slowly but surely. A few more blinks will need to happen here soon. The main base for the Protoss player is all but gone. He does lose the Nexus now. Only 2 assimilators left there to preserve the memory of the Protoss units. The probes all being massacred very, very brutally. They were trapped in a corner. But yeah, that's enough of that. We do have Stalkers in the main base dying to SCVs and Hellbats. They do blink out of there, but there's only a few Stalkers left, and the Hellbats alone could really take out these Stalkers, I'm going to say. He does try to take out the Observer with the Viking, and he does get it. That means that there's going to be no more high ground shenanigans. And he does have the Vikings over here scouting for bases. This base was scouted. LexMillea calling out the GG. His Stalkers have been killed. He does call good luck as well, being a very well-mannered guy. He had the right idea for a time, but then again, he could have transitioned that into anything besides mass Colossus. Yes, Robo is nice, but I think that's been a downfall in many of these games that he had, or in the two that he did not lose to the All-In, just because different transitions are so very helpful. Charge lots are amazing units. They are my favorite Protoss unit. Definitely look into those. I know he is a Masters level player, so he definitely knows better than me most of the time, but you can always look back in retrospect. I know that I would never even reach this point, so good series from both players, but ThEraXis just showing that his mech play too strong for the Colossi death ball that our player LexMillea did have success with in the first game, but after that, trying all-ins, trying proxies, trying to have another macro game, and none of those working for him. He does lose the best of 5 in a 1-3 defeat, but good games all around, and thank you for watching. This was from the Heart of the Swarm Masters mashup. You can find the thread on Battle.net, and I am just one of many casters for that. Thank you.